Welcome to the Sassy Spoon Kitchen. I've been on a little hiatus. I went to Alaska to visit my grandson and my son and my daughter-in-law. Had a great time, but I'm back. And today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite recipes. And in fact, it came from my old Hawaiian blog, which is called My Hawaiian Home. And I first posted this recipe in 2009. And after posting it, it became the most popular recipe on my blog. And also, whenever anybody searched for this recipe on Google, it came directly to my blog. And it's for Portuguese bean soup. And it's Hawaiian Portuguese bean soup, actually. So it's a very particular recipe known to Hawaiians and people who come to Hawaii for a visit. So I hope you enjoy it. It's a hearty, delicious recipe that you can make in a big pot or an instant pot. But my instant pot is only 6 quarts, and my recipe, which can be cut down, is really too big for my instant pot. So I'm doing it in a big soup pot. But I am using my Instant Pot to cook my beans in, just my garbanzo beans, because I'm also going to make some other stuff with the garbanzo beans later. So here I'm going to read you the ingredients before I start cutting and chopping and opening cans. Now a lot of this can be done with canned goods, and that's pretty important if you live in Hawaii. You don't have access to a lot of dried goods there, and also the canned goods are just really important for shelf life there. So I'm going to go ahead and just read this stuff off, and after the recipe, all my recipes are at the bottom of the actual video, so just scroll down, and then there's some great history after the recipe that I would love you to read. So the actual recipe includes 2 to 3 medium-sized smoked ham hocks. Those have a good shelf life. And 3 cups of chicken broth. And I make my own. Bear with me while I just lift this up a little. Okay, there it is. 1 pound of Portuguese sausage, halved lengthwise and sliced. And if you can't find Portuguese sausage, which you probably can't unless you live in Massachusetts, I suggest you look for, probably the closest thing would be a Spanish or Portuguese sausage. And if you can't find that, you can use kielbasa. 1 large or 2 small sweet onions. Maui onions would be what we would use in Hawaii, but you can use any sweet onion. 3 medium-sized potatoes, peeled and cubed. 1 cup of chunky diced carrots. I'm going to go back over here. 4 cups of coarsely chopped cabbage. 3 15-ounce cans of kidney beans with liquid. And you can use black beans as well, or cannelli beans. But they're very typical would be the dark red kidney beans. And you can use dried beans if you'd like. And 2 14.5-ounce cans of diced organic tomatoes. And I use the fire-roasted diced tomatoes. I am going to be adding some tomatoes from my garden as well that I have. 1/2 pound of elbow macaroni, and boy do they love elbow macaroni over there. They just call it mac. They use it in a mac salad. They just make lots of stuff with macaroni. 6 garlic cloves minced. You can use more than 6 if you want. 1 bunch of cilantro, they call it Chinese parsley there, coarsely chopped. 1 bunch of flat leaf Italian parsley, 2 tablespoons of black peppercorns, 5 fresh bay leaves or 3 dried bay leaves. So that's pretty much everything that's in it. And then we're going to put it all to cook. And there are some approximations that you may use, like when we get this all in the big pot, we may add some more chicken stock or water to cover everything, stuff like that. And I actually have some baby bok choy. I'm going to chop that up and add it to the soup just because it makes really nice greens in the soup. And if I didn't have that, I might add some other greens. So that's pretty much it. And it makes a lot, as you can imagine, but it keeps really well. You can also freeze it. And everybody loves it. It is the true taste of Hawaii. The Portuguese came to Hawaii to work in 2 different fields. They came to work as paniola, which are the cowboys. The Spanish brought the cattle, and they worked as cowboys, but they also came to work in the sugarcane fields along with 5 other ethnic groups. And in the sugarcane fields, they were very primary workers, and they brought their food. Primarily, they brought their breads, and they brought their sausages. And so this soup was made from the sausages, and this soup has been served in Hawaii for over 100 years, and it has been so popular at every festival, and they serve it in lots of Portuguese restaurants there and also Hawaiian restaurants, and it's just loved by everybody. So that's why I had so many hits on my website, and it's just really, really popular. So I hope you try it, and I think you'll love it. It's my husband's favorite soup, and he was so excited when I told him I was going to make it because I haven't made it since we lived in Charleston. That's over 3 years. So anyway, I hope you make it. And once I get everything chopped and diced and ready to go in, then I'll show you the order that I put it in the pot. But really just, it's one of those soups that you just dump everything in, quite honestly, and cook it. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, now we're ready for most of the veg and meat. And we already have the ham hocks and the chicken broth in, so I'm just going to start putting all the rest of this in. These are my tomatoes from my garden. They're not in the recipe. These are the chopped onions. These are the chopped celery and carrots. The carrots are under the celery. The celery's from my garden. This should get a little closer. Let's see everything actually getting dumped in. All right, then we have 3 cans of kidney beans with the liquid. And if you're doing your own, doing your own kidney beans, I would just probably put a half a cup of liquid for each. I guess this is like a cup and a half of kidney beans. So you can kind of wing it. This isn't a real exact measurement anyway. I'm going to top all this off with some water. I already put double the amount of chicken stock that the recipe calls for. I put 6 cups. Then I have 2 cans of the diced fire roasted tomatoes. That has quite a bit of liquid in it too. Here's the garlic. As you can see, it's a pretty dumpy recipe. It's really easy. Here's a can of tomato paste. That'll give it a lot of richness. Now I am going to wait to add the parsley and cilantro, but I am going to go ahead and put in the other greens in a little bit. I'm just going to get this all bubbling before I put those in. I'm going to put the potatoes in and the sausage and the macaroni. So here's the potatoes. And the sausage. All right, as you can see, there's still some room at the top here for some more liquid. And you can see this is a really big pan, so I could never have fit all of this into my Instant Pot. I'm going to put about half of this container of macaroni in here, and that's going to absorb some liquid too. So I'm going to get probably about 6 cups of liquid. And that should be fine, but I might have to add more Hocks. Some of the meat will add more liquid to the soup too. Alright, so I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to put it on high. As soon as it starts to boil, I'm going to put it down to medium. And I'm going to cover it. Once it's on medium, I'll probably add the cabbage and the baby bok choy. And then I'm going to cook it for about an hour. Then I'll taste it and add the spices, salt and pepper, and maybe some cayenne. And then once it's thoroughly cooked, the macaroni is cooked through, then I'll add the parsley and the coriander or cilantro. So we'll keep our eye on it. I forgot the bay leaf. These are from my garden as well. I'm going to go tuck them in right now.